Okay, good afternoon. This is Nancy Mason. I'm with the Muskogee Nation Youth Services Program. It's just a little bit before 3 o'clock, but I'm going to go ahead and get us started just to do a little bit of opening information. We want to thank everyone who's joining us today, either through our Zoom call or Facebook. We're hoping our Facebook Live holds out for you all. Just going to go ahead and show for those of you who are on the Zoom. We do have opportunities for you to ask questions through the Q&A or the chat. If you're watching via Zoom, if you'll just put any questions you have in the comments there, and we have someone moderating and they can let us know what those questions are. We will definitely have a time for question and answer at the very end of the presentation, but just submit your questions whenever you need to during the presentation. Also within the Zoom feature, if you click on the participant box, you have these options you can raise your hand, tell us yes or no for asking questions, and just interact in that way. There's some other interactions that feature has. So feel free to utilize those if you have the option, and we're gonna get started here in just 1 second. All right. Like I said, my name is Nancy Mason. I am the director of the Muskogee Nation Youth Services Program. We've been around for about 5 years now, and I've been the director during that time, and our staff has grown. It used to be just me that you would see on this slide right here. We have several full-time, a couple of part-time, and then we have some temporary staff who are interning with us this summer. I'm going to go ahead and let Jasmine introduce herself.
Hello, my name is Jasmyne Jack. I am a youth services specialist, and I'm also a member of the Muskogee Nation Youth Council, which you'll be hearing about later on during our slideshow. And then next we have Samantha Kuhn, who's also a youth services specialist. She does a variety of things. She's amazing. And then also we have Aaron Soap. He is our special projects coordinator. He focuses on a lot of our activities and things like that. And then now I'm going to hand it over to Nancy.
Okay, and then we have Jasmine Buckley. She is our youth mentor. So she'll be working on a project primarily, our Muskogee mentors, that we'll talk about later today. But Jasmine also is super creative and amazingly talented in doing graphic design and photography and videos, all kinds of things. So she's got a lot of talents that we try to utilize. We also have in our office this summer, Gina Powell. She is a college work experience intern. And so she's actually just graduated from Northeastern State University with a bachelor's in social work. And she is helping us to kind of pilot a project this summer. We're excited to have her. We also have 2 summer youth staff who are in our office. Karen McGirt, she's a member of our Muskogee Nation Youth Council. Also, she's a second speaker, actually. And so she's summer youth doing just all kinds of different things for us. And then Winnie Cooper has also been in our office. She's actually been with us for a little while now. Both of these young ladies are also very talented in social media and graphic design, those kind of things. But they do a lot of stuff for our office, a lot of work, and we keep them busy, and we're really appreciative of them and all of our staff. So Jasmine, if you want to go ahead.
Oh, yeah, sorry. And next, we're going to talk about our mission statement. As you can see, our mission statement says we empower Muskogee youth by connecting them to culture, community, and resources. And as we're talking later on, you'll kind of see how we do those things. So one of our services we offer is fostering advocacy. And again, as I mentioned, I'm a member of the Muskogee Nation Youth Council, and they fall under fostering advocacy as one of our services. And so to be a member of the Muskogee Nation Youth Council, you have to be an enrolled Muskogee citizen between the ages of 12 and 24. Sadly, I'm on the end of that. I'm 24, so I'll be aging out soon, but it's been a great experience. Also, excuse me, we meet the second Saturday of every month. The location varies, but we always encourage all of our Muskogee citizens to come out, even if they're not old enough to join. We like the younger ones to come just to let them know that, hey, they can do this. just to give them some encouragement. And also we do a lot of service learning projects. That can be anything like we've done events for the elders, for Vietnam veterans, a variety of things. We also are connected with culture a lot. We have a lot of youth who go to the traditional Muskogee churches. We have some that go to the ceremonial grounds. We have some that do both. And then some youth that kind of aren't really unsure where they fit on that spectrum, but they're learning. And it's really great because all of our other youth are willing to teach. And of course, they're willing to listen as well. We do a lot of things with art and advocating. So now I'm gonna send it, or next slide, please.
Actually, me, I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about the Speakers Bureau.
Okay.
Before I go into that, though, it actually made me really sad to hear Jasmyne say she's at the end of that age category with Youth Council. She's been a part of this program for since the beginning. They just turned 5 in June, and so she's been around all this time, and at least we have her for one more year, and then I'll rope her into other things after that. But going on into our Speakers Bureau, we have been really wanting to develop this. It's still definitely in baby steps, though. But we have created a training, and we're working on another series of trainings to help young people learn how to do presentations. Oftentimes we have youth do presentations with us, and they've actually done really well at doing that, but we wanted to help provide them with some more basic skills on how to do presentations on their own, to create those, to deliver them, how to do the graphic piece of that. And so this is something that we'll continually work on. We do have young people who've completed the first in that training, which is called Present Like a Pro. And so we have youth who are ready to do presentations. If that's something you're interested in, we can definitely get you connected. We also do youth engagement. And so what that really looks like is we try to get young people involved in what's going on in their community and help them to create solutions for the challenges that they face. So we've done different events like speak outs, where we've just brought youth together and had them really brainstorm what was going on and try to work on how to correct those situations. And we've also helped youth councils to form, other than the Muskogee Nation Youth Council. We really think it's important for young people to be involved in groups like this. And so if they aren't able to be a part of the Muskogee Nation Youth Council, and you have maybe a group of young people in your school, at your church, at your community that you're working with, and they would like to form that youth council, we would love to help them make that happen. We are connected to Unity, which is the United National Indian and Tribal Youth organization, and it's just a collective of thousands of young people across the nation who are making change in Indian country. And so we really try to get young people involved in their own communities, and we're actually really glad to help in any way that we can in making those things happen.
All right, next we're going to be talking about our Muskogee Youth Opportunity Grant. It's listed under our services as providing resources. And this is probably one of our biggest parts of our program. It's an opportunity grant, obviously, and it is for enrolled Muskogee citizens age 24 and under. And it's for various opportunities. Most opportunities are up to $250. That'll be the amount awarded for most. And then for the other opportunities, for leadership and educational opportunities out of the youth state of residence and internationally, they will qualify for a larger amount potentially. We offer this grant. It's available yearly. It's a once per fiscal year grant. So basically what that means, it's available October 1st through September 30th. That's when our fiscal year begins and ends. So as long as you're in good standing, by the time October 1st comes, the new year, and you're able to apply every year for your youth, for yourself or for your child, up until they're 25 is when they can no longer access it.
All right. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the resources. Providing resources is one of our goals. And so if you go to our website, and we'll provide that information at the end of the webinar, we have a lot of online resources that we have connected with that we think are really helpful to young people and their families. And so those are available there. We also have a resource book that our program has created, and you can get hard copies from our office, but it's also available online for download. We update that at least yearly. And so actually our intern Gina is working on the updates this summer. And so we'll be uploading a new version later on at the end of the summer. But right now you can download that for free, or you can contact us and we can get those sent out to you, whether you would like one for yourself, or if you're an organization and you'd like to give those out to the young people and families that you're working with. Obviously, it's geared more towards Muskogee Creek citizens because we highlight a lot of our programs from the tribe. However, it is available for, really any Native family because we have information about local resources, state resources, and even national things that you can connect with. So it's just a really good detailed handout. And we know that, print goes out of style so quickly. That's why we try to provide online and then just keep that resource book updated as often as possible. Another thing that I'm excited to talk to you guys about today is actually a pilot project. It is called, I practiced it earlier, so I'm going to try to say it again. Chutgosen Yigabida. Yigabida. There we go. I think I said it wrong still, but little steps is what it means. And it's a way that we want to help young parents and pregnant youth. So we've done a lot of work in pregnancy prevention in the past, but this was actually something that was brought to us by our young people that said, hey, we're talking about preventing pregnancy, but we know a lot of young people who are actually parents. And so how can we help them? And so this was an idea that a former employee of ours had actually come across and wanted to do a summit or a conference for those young people. And we actually proposed to an organization to receive some funding to do that conference. However, because of the pandemic, we are working on other ways that we can actually implement that so that we can do it virtually. The first of those things that we are going to be doing is launching this little text line right here. So if you are pregnant or parenting, and this is actually for any age, obviously we're gearing towards young people, but if you're a parent of any age, feel free to text LTL steps, so it's little steps, to the number 81010. And we'll be providing at least weekly resource information for parents. And so it might be, a resource, an activity, maybe there's an event that affects families that's going on within the tribe or the communities. We're going to try to highlight that information in that text line so that parents can connect with it. So we're really excited about that. Other things that we're going to be doing for the youth who are parents is to offer them assistance with planning for their future goals, and then also connecting them with resources and trying to do whatever we can to support them as they grow with their child. Next is another thing that I'm really passionate about is our Muskogee Youth Vote project. And so this is another area that we've been trying to grow. One of the things that we've been doing over the last few years is just really awareness and education. So we always try to post when there are upcoming dates for registrations of whether it be at tribal or local, state, national elections. We just want people to be engaged in that of all ages. And we know, a lot of our youth that we serve are not even 18, so they can't vote, but there's lots of things that they can do to educate themselves, to help the people around them know how they feel about issues. And people sometimes think, oh, that's just politics, I'm not interested in that. But really, your vote gives a lot of purpose to all kinds of issues, whether you're passionate about the environment, about children, whatever it is that your passion is, there's probably legislation that connects to it. And especially being Native people, we're one of the most highly legislated group of people. And so it's really important that we vote and let people know what our opinions are. So like I said, just awareness and education. We've partnered with the election office a few years ago, and we helped them to create a training for their voter registrars. And so that's just another piece that we were doing. We hope to expand that education for just letting people know more about their rights as a voter and what to expect and those kind of things. Other pieces is just, again, we try to help people get registered at events that we attend. We have all of the links set up on our website. So if you go to our page and find the Muskogee Youth Vote portion of that, You can register with the tribal elections with the Creek Nation for any Oklahoma citizen. And then we also have a link for if you're in another state. So you can connect with your local registration office there. Last year, we were really excited that a couple of our youth council members actually created a candidate forum. We had elections for the principal chief and second chief and several of the council seats last year. And so our youth, had questions for them. There's a lot of young people who are really engaged in what's going on in the tribe. And so they put together this forum. Candidates came. They did an excellent job. Like, I was so proud of them. And we continue to get compliments on how they ran their forum and just how organized it was and the questions that came out of it. And so it was a really great event to be a part of. And that's definitely something that we're going to continue to support them in, whether that be tribal or national elections. If they're interested in doing those forums, we want to help them to continue that. Also recently, Jasmine and I have become notaries for the sole purpose of notarizing your absentee ballots. With the pandemic, there has been, lots of concerns about people getting out to the polls to vote. People are concerned about doing that, and we want to make sure that your voice is heard. So if you are a voter and you request an absentee ballot for the state and national elections that needs to be notarized, and you need a notary to do that, contact our office and we would be happy to connect with you in some ways so that we can make sure that that is taken care of for you. Now, you're still responsible for getting it mailed in, but we're happy to get it notarized and get you connected. And then just one more thing that I want to highlight right here. We have elections coming up again in August. So there's additional elections. And so if you are not currently registered, you have until July 31st to get registered to vote in the August 25th elections. Like I said, our links are on our website. So go there and get that done today. Don't wait. All right, moving on, wellness assessment and planning. So just in general, we all need plans to like make our lives happen. I mean, I know like when I actually went to school, I had to have a written plan. I was one of those people that needed that. And so we want to help young people to figure out what it is that their goals are, to help them connect with resources and then to help them reach those goals ultimately. So that's something that we can do for any young person that is needing that assistance. So they just need to contact our office or they can be referred to us too. And then culture is prevention is another big area that we focus on. And these are all in our encouraging wellness service area. And so some of the things that we've been able to do over the last couple of years have been partly in due to grants that we've received. One of the first things I'll share with you about is our Connect the Disconnect project. We did this 2 years ago with a grant from the First Nations grant making organization out of Denver. And they funded this project for us to provide cultural activities for young people. We went around and helped them to like think about all of the different areas that they could connect and have support in their lives. It was really focused on like suicide prevention and mental health wellness. And so just, having that connection to culture is a protective factor in its own. And so if young people have those protective factors in their lives, they're more able to deal with the challenges that they have to face. And so this was one of our first efforts to do that. We have curriculum available for this, and it's an event that can be repeated very easily. There are some costs involved just because we often have to, provide our cultural experts compensation for their time because that's their talent, and so we want to make sure that they are being received in that way. But it's very, very easy to do. Another activity that we received a grant from the Nike N7 organization a few years ago is our Muskogee Youth Wellness Days. And it's, again, trying to get young people connected with traditional games. And so we focus on 6 areas of wellness. We actually were selected to receive a second grant from them. And so we're working on rolling that out at this point. Again, we're also looking at, virtual ways to do that. And so there'll be information probably within the next month or two about the rollout of that project and how we're going to handle that with our current situation. So just be on the lookout for that on our website, our social media pages. But it's a really just a good opportunity to think about how you can be well and be healthier as a part of getting connected to culture. The next one is our Beating the Stigma. This was just a new workshop that we developed over the last year. Jasmine Buckley is one of our staff, and Samantha Kuhn are really good at beating. And so we wanted to monopolize on that talent again. And they put together this training along with Jasmine Jack. And so Jasmine and Jasmine actually talked about suicide prevention and mental health and anxiety and all those things that young people face while the youth did a beading project. So we were able to do this a couple of times, and it's been really, really good as far as like people's interest. I'll talk a little bit more about another beading project we've got going on later in this presentation. Next, I want to talk about our Muskogee Youth Cultural Arts Mentorship. We just completed this project, and it was probably one of my favorite. We actually had the opportunity to work with 10 young people, and I think we actually had 9 that participated. And those 9 young people worked with a mentor for 9 months in their chosen cultural arts field. So we had youth who were working on sewing, painting, traditional bow making, cooking, all kinds of stuff. I mean, it was just really, really great. And they put on a showcase back in January, and it was so awesome to see them do their presentations and talk about all that they had learned and hopes that they have for continuing that tradition. One of our young people actually did flute making with Nelson Harjo, Scotty Harjo, as most people know him. And she's going to be one of the few people who knows how to do that talent at this point. And so that's really exciting that she's going to be able to take that knowledge and continue that tradition on. That again is another activity. And actually all of these activities I talked about so far and the one that I'm fixing to mention are things that we could replicate for you. We created a curriculum for the cultural arts mentorship, and it's available on our website for download too. So you could go and get a free copy of that there. And if you need help in putting that on for your own self, we're happy to provide some assistance. So just, let us know. We just think it's really important to continue those arts. And the last thing is our cultural expressions camp. This is something we did probably in our second year of the program being around. And since we've done it, we've actually shared it with our TANF program. And now they are the ones who actually utilize this usually during the summer. So they have several camps around the nation, and they just have young people come in for a week, and they go very like hard and heavy on learning traditional things. They get to be a part of cooking the meals for the activities, doing various projects like beading and sewing. They usually end up leaving with some traditional wear, and sometimes the girls will have a set of cans that they've made, those kind of things. And the guys will make stick ball sticks. So it's really, really a good thing for them to do. And we've enjoyed being a part of that project and seeing it continue on with the TANF program.
All right, so another one of our services, again, is encouraging wellness. Life skills falls under that. So with life skills, we do a variety of things. We do educational planning, we do employment skills, communication, interpersonal skills, physical, mental health things. So with educational planning, we have this thing called What's Your Plan? And it's an event, it's a resource, and it's an event we did with higher education. And basically what it's for is for high school juniors and seniors, mostly seniors, incoming college freshmen, just kind of give them an idea of what to do. Because me, a first generation college student, I had no idea. And looking through this, and I went through the financial aid part and all the background part of getting into school kind of myself. And this, I was able to put my voice in on it, and hey, this is good, this is good. A lot of things have changed. They constantly change when you're dealing with colleges and universities, technical schools. And so this is a good resource for high school seniors and juniors to just what to do. We did a kind of like, of course I forget the word, a mock trial where we would actually have them on the event, have them go through it, like go to the financial aid office, go here, go there, go to housing, go to your counselors, things like that. And it's really good. It's hands-on. And so it kind of gives them an idea of exactly what to expect. And sometimes their parents join, and so it helps them as well. And then for the employment skills, we partner up with Summer Youth. And so we do some financial literacy things for summer youth, they had some training to do during their job, not this year, of course, but from years before. And we took surveys for youth, and they wanted to know, how to manage money, what to do with it, how can they save. And so we put programs, presentations in place for them. And so next we have our sexual health. We have some curriculum that we utilize to offer youth. First, we have our Making a Difference. Oh, excuse me. Kind of getting ahead of myself. First, we have some information, and we have this awesome brochure in our office, and we can actually disperse it as needed for yourself or for your youth or for your programs. It's Sexual Health Rights and Resources for Teens. And on that website down there, that bit.ly / get sexucated, it has some really good resources on there for youth and parents. And then also, if you go to our website on the Muskogee Nation page, we also have other websites there and other information. And then back to the curriculum, we have a Making a Difference, and that's geared toward youth ages 6th through 8th grade. And it's an evidence-based curriculum on abstinence and STD, HIV, and teen pregnancy prevention. And then that's also with Making It Proud Choices, that is for older youth, ages 9 through 12, high school age. It's kind of the same thing, just geared toward older youth. And then we have the Power Through Choices curriculum, which is, again, it's the same thing, but it's geared through 9th through 12th grade kids who are maybe in the foster care system or entering the system. It kind of gives a more of how they would handle it, and how to advocate with them and how to work through things like that. Next slide. Oh, sorry. I am getting way ahead of myself here. I talk so fast. We also have our snag bags. And if you don't know what that is, you ever heard snagging with native slang? So our snag bags are just little bags, little like corn purses, and we have condoms in there, lubricant, information. We have a female and male condom in there, dental dam, just to prevent, just to encourage safe sex practices, and also prevention of pregnancies, unplanned or unwanted pregnancies. So we just do that. We hand them out at events, and if you need any, we can give some to your program, to your youth. Just let us know, and we can get some made for you.
Yeah, just kind of following up on all that sexual health education information. We really embrace the concept that we need to focus on comprehensive sexual education, and so that includes educating young people on personal boundaries and how to set those for themselves, but then also being equipped with the tools that they might need to protect themselves. So just kind of moving on there. Our next service goal is creating support. The first thing I want to talk about is just events and training. So we really like to do events, and we do a lot of those with our program, but we also partner with a lot of different programs. We've worked with behavioral health, TANF, our family violence program, to put on different activities for young people. One of the things that I have just found that's been amazing after the first year of our program being created is that we had programs coming to us and saying, hey, we want to talk to your young people and ask them this. And so we would get them connected with our youth council so that they could give them input about what their services needed to look like. And honestly, that's the way it should be. If you're serving young people's voice should be a part of that, and they should tell you what they need and not us telling them what we think that they need. So they really try to help keep us accountable. So in addition to some of our collaborative partnerships, like I said, many of the activities that we've already done within our program are things that we can replicate, so we can help your program to do those things. We also provide various trainings for youth. Like I said, we have our Present Like a Pro training that's available for young people, and I'll talk about a few more mental health ones here in a second. We also put together a event planning guide. So that's something that you can download from our website. If you go to our services page, you'll find the information there about events and training, and that link is there, so you can download that guide. And again, that's something we can provide assistance to you on. If you download the guide but you still have some questions, give us a call, because we love that young people have opportunities. That's one of our hopes, and so if we can help in any way to make that possible, it's just as easy as a phone call. So talked about event planning. We also have offered some trainings like social media 101. So we love our social media. We know that that's where our young people are at usually. And so it's a way for us to connect with them and provide information. We also know that the growing population of older ages are utilizing social media. And so it's just a free and easy way to do that. So we can teach your program how to use your own social media to create that, set it up, and utilize it. And then we have some other marketing tools. So for example, the presentation that you're seeing today, we utilized a website called Canva, and it's a free resource. We actually have a paid version of it because we wanted some of the additional features, but it helps us to create all kinds of different things, whether that's a PowerPoint presentation, a logo, flyers, and it makes us look real fancy because I, for one, am not creative, but I find it pretty easy to use Canva, and I'm getting a little bit better at it. Luckily, we do have all of those young ladies in our office who are really good at that. And so I can, even if I start something, I'll say, hey, can you look at that and make it pretty for me, or, make it look better, because I know that mine's not the greatest, but it is really simple to use. And our staff can help provide that assistance to you on learning how to do that too. Like I said, mental health trainings are one of those other things that we really focus on. Here's a few of those. Youth mental health first aid. It's in transition. It's normally a full day of training, but they have recently changed it to a blended version. So part of it is online and part of it is in person. However, with the pandemic happening, they're actually making some adjustments so that training can be conducted all virtually. That's something that I'm trained in to provide, and I actually need to attend the training to do the full virtual, but I'll be hopefully doing that soon and making that available to folks. So that'll be something you can take advantage of. It's something we can usually do for free or little cost. There are some expenses to it, but it's very minimal. Also, our staff is trained in both Talk Saves Lives and Question, Persuade, Refer, or QPR, as it's also referred to. And those are shorter, about 1 hour, 45 minutes to 1 hour trainings on suicide prevention that really educate the participants on how to recognize the signs and symptoms of a mental health crisis and how to get that person connected to resources. So like if you have a friend who's struggling, knowing what to look for, and then how to get them connected with appropriate resources. Another thing that we have is online training. So right now, today, this is what we're doing. We started a series of Muskogee Youth Talks series. When pandemic started, that was how we wanted to continue to provide services to people. And so we've done a few programs already. And Jasmine actually had the great idea of, hey, we should do one on our own program. And I thought she was just brilliant. So that's why we're here today. So we're talking about our program, but if you have services that connect with young people or families and you'd like to go online, we would love to help make that happen. We can definitely do that. Just contact us. We also do a lot of Facebook Live presentations, and we've also created our own YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube, and I'll have that information later, you can find us there. Some of the things we already have online are obviously the Muskogee Youth Talks trainings that we've done. We also had all of our cultural arts mentees. They did online presentations as a part of the project. And so all of their presentations are there. So if you'd like to learn more about what they learned and that project in general, you can connect with us there. So it's just a really good way to do that in this day and age. All right, and creating support. So Muskogee Mentors is probably going to be one of my favorite services. I know it will. We've actually been working on it for a few years now. From the beginning of our program creation, we did a survey with young people and adults, and we asked them, what do young people need to be successful? And, what are the challenges they faced? And overwhelmingly, when we do the survey, and we do it every 2 years, we hear that they need supportive adults in their lives. And so we knew we wanted to do mentoring, and we knew that we wanted to make it good. So that's why we've taken our time in making this happen. Over the last year, we created policies, procedures, all the forms, things like that. We actually began a pilot project at the Wetumpka Public Schools with the 6th and 8th grade students in the spring. And then obviously, again, the pandemic. So we've had to make a few changes and try to figure out how we can do this virtually, but it's still something that we're going to continue to offer. We, again, focused it primarily on Wetumpka and 6th to 8th grade because it was a pilot and we wanted to, test it and make sure that we were doing things right before we rolled it out to other folks. But again, we may be doing that a little differently in the future. We actually worked with a group of people in Wetumpka that included community members, young people, the school system, and that, I think that's why I'm so excited about it, is because that group of people helped us make this happen. And so it will be good. We have adults who are ready to be mentors, and we know there are young people out there who need that assistance. So just be on the lookout for that to come. If you're interested in Muskogee Mentors, we also have a training that's available online, so you can just go and kind of learn a little bit more about that on our website or on our YouTube page. So that's available there. All right, and I'm going to have Jasmine talk to you about the Raven Care Package.
So we have our Raven Care packages, and this program is for our students at the College of Muskogee Nation. And to be eligible for this, they have to live in the dorms, reside in the dorms, and there's no age limit, but they just have to reside in the dorms. And so it just kind of helps them with things that they need. We send them care packages. We get sponsors to send them care packages, and the sponsors can be anybody. If you would like to sponsor, please do contact our office and we will, get you in contact, we will get you set up for that. The youth are always very grateful for this. It's really awesome seeing their faces when we give it to them, because some youth, it's their first time, being away from home, and they're just not sure where to get things, or they're running low on cash, like of course most college students. And so just seeing them get goodies. And then we also, within the care packages, we have give the sponsors an option to write encouragement cards. And so that's a really good thing too. And a lot of the students like that. Yep, so that's it on that part. And so also we have youth enhancement. Basically that kind of goes back to what Nancy spoke about earlier about having a youth voice on things. So that's very important. And like she said, if you're gonna have a program for youth, it definitely needs to be created by youth, because you can't just say you need this without having them included, because what you may think they need is not what they need. They know themselves better than anybody. And so with that, we offer youth input. We get a lot of our youth council members involved, and just other youth too, on input for whatever you need. Offer info marketing designs geared toward youth. One of the people who used to work for us previously, she was really great at this. You could give her a long book or paper, just white and black, very boring, that even an adult wouldn't want to read, and she would make it pop, and it's like, oh, okay, there's all the info I need right there. She just put it all together in one spot, which was great. And then also we can provide you the speakers, yeah, things like that. So just whatever input you need from youth, contact us. And even some programs even said, hey, look at this flyer. Do you think your youth are going to like it? Or what do you think about this program we're going to roll out? And we gave feedback, which is great.
Right. So we've got a few updates also. Recently, we launched our Muskogee Artist Registry, and this actually was born out of our cultural arts mentorship. It wasn't a part of that project, but as we were going along, we were like, wouldn't it be great if there was a place that all Muskogee artists could be connected, where they could say, hey, here's all the things that I know how to do. And if you were looking for someone who could make moccasins or someone who knows how to bead, that would be a place where you could access them. So we decided to make it happen. And so if you are a Muskogee artist, whether you are an adult or a young person, we would love for you to connect with our database, our registry. If you go to our website, and then the link is there below. You can find actually at the tab, it says Muskogee Artist, and you can create your own page. So there's actually 2 steps to that. I just kind of want to mention when you log in to create a profile, that just basically gets you first started on the website, but then you have to actually go in and add pictures to it and all of your information. If you have questions about how to do that, Jasmine Buckley is the whiz behind that. And so you just need to contact our office and she can provide some assistance on how to make that happen. So we're excited for that to be a part of our program now.
So another update is some collaborations we have with TCYC. It used to be the spring celebration event every spring. However, I've said it several times, because of the pandemic, we couldn't do it. Darn the pandemic. But now we changed the name to Family Celebrating Traditions, just because it's not in the springtime anymore. We're going to do it. We'll be doing it hopefully in August. And we're going to have a scavenger hunt. It's going to be a drive-through event. We're going to have a scavenger hunt live, and it'll begin July 20th. And as the flyers there, you see it says it'll end July 31st. We'll have some activities for you to do with your whole family. And then so on the day of the event, you can come by. Once your scavenger hunt's completed, we'll look at it, look it over. You'll come by, possibly get a t-shirt and get your prizes for yourself and your family. And they're going to be really cool prizes, just family-oriented prizes. And it's really cool. And I really encourage all families to do it. It's just something cool to do, something safe, very limited contact to do with your family. I know we're all kept up in the house, so that'd be really great.
Phil. And next, just another update is our Muskogee Youth Awards. Normally, this is something we do during the month of June. We do a big celebration for our youth council during that time. And then we also have added our youth awards. Just with everything, we've pushed it back, but we are going to go live with applications on August the 1st. And if you know a young person who is ages 24 and under, or an adult who is 25 and over, Muskogee Creek citizen who is making a difference in the lives of Muskogee youth, we would love for you to nominate them for one of our awards. We have 5 categories, and they're all based on our service areas. So if there's somebody who are big at fostering advocacy, if they encourage wellness, if they are good at creating support, please nominate them for one of our awards so that we can recognize them and the contributions that they make to our community. And then lastly, I gave you a teaser of it earlier, Muskogee Youth Beads. So kind of pulling off of our Beating the Stigma, we are going to be doing some live webinars to teach you how to do various beading projects. Jasmine Buckley and Samantha Kuhn will be heading those out. And so we'll have information out as soon as we get dates scheduled. We're waiting for the supplies to get in before we schedule that. But as soon as we get everything going, we'll go live with dates. So just stay updated with our social media pages and our website, and we'll have all of that information there. All right, so we have time for questions if anybody has questions. And I'm gonna look over here at my phone to see if I see anything on our Facebook page, or if Jasmine Buckley, if you see any questions, you can let us know. I don't think I see any questions right now. Jasmine, Jack, is there anything that we've missed that we need to make sure we tell folks about?
Back to the voter registration. I just wanted to give a reminder that you must have your voter registration form into the offices by July 31st, not postmarked, or they won't accept it. So physically have it in by July 31st. If you have to mail it off, I'd mail it off at least 3 days sooner, just so it gets there.
That is good advice. Yeah, don't wait till the last minute, because you're going to miss out on that opportunity. Then you'll have to wait for the November elections to actually make your voice heard. I am not seeing any questions on our Facebook Live right now, and I don't see any questions in our queue. So that means we just did an excellent job of telling everybody about our services, right, Jasmine? She's muted. Yeah, she said yes. So what we'll do for now is go ahead and just tell you how to connect with our program. Wow, I did some big stuff with the graphics there. Here's how to connect with us. It's our mailing address, P.O. Box 580 Muskogee, our phone number there. The general email to reach us at is youthservices@mcn-nsn.gov. Our website is muskogeeyouth.com, and you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Muskogee Youth. And so you'll just need to type in at Muskogee Youth, and you'll connect with us in those fashions. Thanks to everyone for joining us today and listening to our information. We hope that you connect with us soon in the future, and thanks for listening to us today.
Thank you.